guys, welcome to F1 Podcast. This is episode number 105, and this is an exciting podcast for Pep and I, as I hope it is for you guys, because we're talking about the penultimate testing that's been going on, Pep. We've got our friends at Brawn GP. We've got some interesting stuff to talk about McLaren. And a few other results in testing, mate, but I guess we should probably start at the top and talk about how we're all blown away by Brawn GP.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on them, mate?
Mate, since the car's been released, they've been running around in Spain and topping the timesheets. And the first day or so, I thought they're doing it for the sponsors, mate.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing it because they need some sponsors and they need the press. But since then, they've actually, in terms of testing, they seem to have some genuine pace, which means that they're running around Catalonia as quick as what Kubica did last year when he was qualifying in Q2, and they're doing it consistently lap after lap. So, we all know that testing is testing and that they're playing games, but they actually seem to have a little bit of genuine pace. Which makes it is quite interesting, I've got to say.
Yeah, it is. There's no doubt about it. I mean, when you think about it, Brawn, GP, when you look at it, under the old guys of Honda, I mean, these guys basically realised last year that the 08 Honda car was effectively stillborn, and they weren't going to put too much of their energy into the 08 car anymore. So they turned their attention to the 09 car, and obviously went over with a fine-tooth comb all the regulations for 09. And when you couple the fact that they've had a lot of lead-up time with a bulletproof engine from Mercedes, and let's face it, the Mercedes engine is pound for pound, one of the top two engines in Formula One, I would dare say. You got yourself a pretty good package.
Yeah, you have.
Plenty of time. I mean, the aero on the Brawn looks good. More importantly, the drivers are happy with it. Whether we're talking about low fuel runs or not, to me is actually irrelevant, because at some given juncture you're going to have to do low fuel runs anyway.
Yeah.
Just harking back to your point about doing this for sponsors. The simple thing is these guys have had a lot of lead time, and I was really impressed to note and to read that the boys and girls back at the factory at Honda, despite what was going on, despite all the dramas in the off-season, were still pressing on. They were still
going, yeah.
They were still going for it. And I mean, what a wonderful thing to see these guys raising eyebrows, not only to us fans, but also to the other Formula 1 drivers that are out there.
Yeah.
Massa's had a few things to say.
Alonso's
had a few things to say.
Alonso said that it didn't matter what configuration he put his Renault in, low fuel, wings, whatever, he wouldn't get that lap time. Now that could be game playing, sandbagging, whatever you call it as well. But the fact that this car has consistently done good lap times says to me that you're right, Max. It is actually a very clean chassis, and they've got a great engine, and perhaps they have some pace.
It bodes well initially, but the thing that I'll be more interested in is to see whether or not Brawn GP can develop the car
throughout the season. Yeah.
That to me is the big clincher. I mean, I remember back to Williams a couple of years ago when Rosberg started out of the blocks, when Williams were running Cosworth engines. But there was no development spend really, and they faded very quickly. Started off with a bang, and then that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think that with Brawn GP that they won't go down that path. I'd like to think that they can throw some development dollars at the car during the year. But they're a fledgling team, and it remains to be seen, mate. But so far, so good. It looks good.
It does, and part of testing is sandbagging and not showing your cards, keeping them pretty close to your chest, Max. But what the people that are there are saying is that they've analysed these lap times, and when you're producing very quick lap times over 20, 30, 50 laps, that to me says that you do have genuine pace, and that remains to be seen. And Max, you actually made a very good point during the week when we were having a quiet beer, where you were saying that you've only got a certain number of days this year, and then testing is over. So your program needs to be very tight, if I can use that word, Max. And you can't.
I like a tight program.
You can't sandbag too much. You have to really get on with it. You have to run as fast as you can. And while you are going to play a little bit of a game and try and get one up on your opponents, What Brawn's done has been very impressive, and particularly when you compare it to the other the other Mercedes teams, they've done extremely well.
Mate, they sure have, and let's also not forget that these guys only got the green light the other day, so they missed out on a few test days already, and straight out of the box, bang, they're there or thereabouts. And it's terrific. I mean, it's I challenge anyone to say that they're not quietly impressed by Brawn GP. I mean, I was sceptical at the beginning of the season, as I'm sure some of you will recall, and no doubt remind me of, that there was absolutely no way that Honda were going to make it to the grid at Albert Park. Okay, admittedly, technically, Honda didn't make it to the grid at Albert Park, but in their new guys as Brawn GP, more than happy to eat some humble pie on that one, and I think it's fantastic that Brawn's taken this team by the scruff of the neck, and they live and breathe again with the guys and gals at Honda still delivering the goods. All right, guys. See you later.
Okay, bye.